Folks, it's Bobby Weber with Hardy and V-Strom. Hey, I'm fixing to make a road trip. It's going to be over Labor Day weekend. Going to take off on Friday morning early, the 3rd of September. And then, make a road trip. Going back to Georgia for a little while. Anyway, let me hit this intro and I'll get back on here with y'all in a minute. Bye. Well, hey folks, I'm back with you. I'll talk to you a little bit about this trip I'm going to take. I'm going to take this trip over Labor Day weekend. Let's see, I got it figured out. It's going to be about 525 miles there, and then of course it'll be 525 miles back. I'm going to be on the Harley. I'm going to be doing a lot of interstate riding. I'm going to try and, get there, as soon as I can. I'm gonna be going back to Georgia to visit some folks back there. Y'all know, most of y'all know that I came from that area over there before I moved back over here to Arkansas. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see, some of the things I'll just talk about some of the things I always check on my bike before I go on any trips. I get, first thing, most simplest, check your tire pressures, make sure they're up to what they're supposed to be, recommended pressure. Always, grab my Allen wrenches and I go around my bike and pay attention to my shift linkage, my shift lever. And I got the heel toe shifter on mine, and I've lost one of them. Not the lever itself, but the little, the little end of it that goes under your toe or on the back of your heel. I've lost one of those one time before, and ended up having to take the one off the back, put on the front, and be able to continue riding that way. And I guess it just vibrated loose one time. But that shift linkage, I always check at, make sure that it's tight and don't have no play in it. That's one of the things I check. And then just common bolts. I check my foot pegs and highway pegs and stuff like that. Of course, check my oil and my transmission fluid. I don't worry about the primary. I mean, if my bike's leaking, then of course I'd be worried about it. But so far I ain't had no leaks, and my bikes are fairly new. That Harley's a 2019, so I hadn't had no problems out of it. I just make sure that there ain't no rattling going on, that being a loose something. Check my belt drive, make sure it's got the right amount of play in it, not too tight and not too loose. Sorry about that. I always take a little toolkit with me. Now I've downgraded my toolkit quite a bit because bike being newer, I'm not quite as concerned, about it having breakdowns, but never know, anything can happen. But I always carry me a toolkit, and I just carry some common wrenches, Allen wrenches, always a pair of pliers or something. One of the other, and I do carry a plug kit with me, and I got a little air compressor I carry with me, just one of those ones that run off battery, because I have had to plug a tire. I'm sure some of y'all have too, to make it to where you're going, or next Harley dealership, or wherever you can get a new tire at. I don't like running plugs, but if you're out in the middle of nowhere, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get back home. So, those are some of the items I carry. I carry a little bottle of octane booster. There was one time I was out riding, and I was riding some back highways, and I was on a trip, and just about run myself out of gas one time. And the only gas station I run across was out in the middle of the country, and they had one gas pump, and all they had was the low end, unleaded 87 octane, I think. And Harley, of course, tells you to run the premium, the 91 octane. And I've always run that. I same thing with the V-Strom. It's recommended to run that too. So I just keep it the same in both of them. But there's been a time where I had to just put regular unleaded, the low octane, the 87 in my Harley. And I put enough in to make it to the next town, and that's all I put in there. And I really didn't tell any difference, to tell you the truth. But And I know some people that run, you know, the lower grades of gasoline in Harleys, and they claim, you know, they say they never have no problem. But I mean, I try to, you know, run what Harley recommends in mine, so I do that. Let's see. The video won't be out until after my trip's over with. But and I'll show some of the stops along the way, you know, gas stops, taking a break, maybe grabbing something to eat or whatever. And I mean, that trip, you know, it's going to be a round trip. I'll be leaving, I'm going to leave early on Friday morning, and then probably won't be returning back until Tuesday. So, you know, I won't be back probably till, you know, late afternoon or evening time on Tuesday. But I did that on purpose, that way I ain't out there on Monday, you know, traveling with everybody. Hopefully, you know, plus give me an extra day to stay where I'm going to be at. Anyway, I guess that's about it. I'll show you, I think you can see it. I'm not real clear, but that's the luggage that I carry on there. It's a Saddleman. And it's pretty good size, and I got a smaller one, but you never know what you're gonna pick up along the way. And I mean, heck, it's just me, and anyway, that's, you know, the luggage bag that I'm gonna carry. Most of the time, my saddlebags are carrying kind of like necessities. I mean, I have a little small cooler I'll put in on one side, and then you know, sunblock and you know, flashlights and stuff like that are in my saddlebags. You know, and a couple other odds and ends, but my toolkit always stays in the saddlebag. So I mean, you know, most of the time my saddlebags are already pretty much kind of occupied with that. I mean, if I'm just going for an overnighter, I could probably squeeze, you know, enough stuff in there and just get along with the saddlebags. But you know, going 3 or 4 days or whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna put the big bag on there, and I mount it. Actually on the pillion, you know, of the seat. That way I got something to lean back against. I ain't got no passenger riding with me this time. So, you know, and I actually added a pad on the front of this thing. Let me see if I can get the camera to tilt down there just a little bit. There you go. This thing is just basically Velcroed on one, you know, the front pocket of this, but this works out good for me. It came off of another bag that was actually designed to do that, and it gave me the idea. Well, I mean, once I got, you know, that bag was old and whatever, but I kept his part, and then I put me some Velcro in the pockets here, and then, you know, just match it up there, and then kind of gives me a backrest right there. You know, that seat, it's a Lapera, that seat. Now, I mean, it's got a, you know, a lower backrest kind of, because you sit down in the seat. But then now I put that there, and it's like perfect for me. You know, give me some back support there. So anyway, I'm gonna put the camera back up. Anyway, I'll show y'all some, you know, some riding. I ain't gonna show a whole lot of riding to you, honestly. Most of it's gonna be on the interstate, you know, just old boring interstate, because I'm trying to make time. That's why I'm gonna be on that Harley. I'm gonna be doing whatever the speed limit is, you know, maybe 5 or 10 miles over, nothing crazy. Anyway, I guess that's it for now. I'll get back on here and show you part of the trips. Talk to you soon. All right, folks, this is Bobby Weber back with you. This is what I look like at 4 a.m. in the morning, fixing to jump on the bike and do that bike trip. But anyway, just letting you know, I'm fixing to hit the road. I'm trying to do as much riding as I can. Yeah, it's still pretty hot during the summer, so anyway, got 525 miles I got to cover today, so taking off early this morning. I'll get back on here in a little while. folks, I'm back on here with you, fixing to, well, I'll tell you the truth, when I'm doing this right here, I've already made that road trip, made it back. I just wanted to give a little narrative on it, because I'm going to be on the Harley, shoot, one way I think was 551 miles, so, and I did it all in one shot, you know, to get there on a Friday. But I wasn't mic'd up, just got a few shots. Most of it was interstate riding. It's one of them typical trips I was talking about. When I got a lot of distance to cover, I usually go on the, you know, on the Harley. So it was a lot of interstate riding. Left on a Friday morning real early, and then returned on Monday, and got back to Arkansas. I think it was 3 or 4 in the afternoon, something like that. And it was over, you know, over 1,100 mile trip. Well, we did do a little bit of riding on Saturday. But as far as round trip, you know, it was a little over 1,100 miles, and I rode the 551 there in one shot and 551 back in one shot. It was a you know, long day of riding, and I don't know if y'all ever noticed that seat I got on that Road King, that LaPera. I mean, it's a good looking seat, makes a motorcycle look good and everything, but it's not a touring seat, and it's not, you know, it's not that comfortable on them long trips. But anyway, I suffered through it, you know, and made it back. You'll see, I took some little shots, maybe minute-long little shots, you know, crossing maybe some bridges, and, but I didn't really get a lot of, video on the riding, because I mean, I didn't want to bore you all to death. But you know, here and there, there's a few shots in there. On the way back, I was coming back through Alabama and got sprinkled on. I just say sprinkled a little bit, you know, a little bit of rain, but I mean, it wasn't much. I think I ended up riding out of it. But that old Harley Davidson done a good job, boy. I tell you, I love that thing on them long trips, because boy, it just eats them miles up. I mean, you know, most of the interstate speeds 70 miles an hour, and you know, you can get away with 75 or whatever. And, you know, of course, there was a lot of trucks out. I rode through, of course, you know, started in Arkansas, had to touch up into Tennessee just a little bit, and then I went the southern route, rode through Mississippi, Alabama, and then crossed into Georgia. And basically, it was the same, you know, I came back the same way. But it was a good motorcycle trip. Got to go see some folks, you know, that I hadn't seen in a little while. Been a while since I've been back in Georgia. And, had a good trip, you know, nothing to complain about on the Harley Davidson, other than I need to get a better seat for touring. Shoot, next time I might even just put the stock seat back on. It seemed more comfortable than the you know, the one I got on there now. But anyway, hope I ain't boring y'all to death, you know, with these riding videos. But I just wanted to do a little narrative on this one, because there's not a lot of talking in this one. You know, I had the camera mounted on the handlebar of the Road King, and you know, just run a few clips here and there. So I mean, there won't be a lot of, you know, talking in that one. And I really didn't even show any stops. I made, like, you know, a lot of stops at gas stations, take a break here and there, and I really didn't even, I don't know, I guess my mind was more on getting to where I was going and stuff. I didn't really run a lot of video on that stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna piece it together. It shouldn't be too long. Might throw a little music in there. But anyway, thank y'all for watching, and I'll get this video put together and get it out to y'all as soon as I can. And I think I'll just title it Road Trip. That was over Labor Day weekend. All right, we'll talk to y'all on the next video. Bye.